Friends and the community are paying their respects to Cornelius Taylor tonight. Taylor was killed inside his tent during a cleanup at a homeless encampment. It has sparked a discussion on how our city's unhoused population is treated and also potential changes at City Hall. Atlanta News First Bridget Spencer is live outside Willie A. Watkins Funeral Home, where a public viewing was held for Taylor today. Bridget.
Yeah, Cornelius Taylor was remembered as a fun person to be around, very spirited, very joyful. This is all happening. People are remembering him just as discussions on helping the homeless are expected to continue tomorrow at Atlanta City Hall. Cornelius Taylor was tragically killed last month during a sweep of the encampment he was living in.
A heavy piece of equipment came through to demolish where he lived.
Taylor's family, friends, and community gathered to pay their respects to a man who friends say was fun to be around and carried a positive attitude despite his circumstances in life.
Always got a smile on his face, always ready to joke and play.
Advocates are now calling on the city of Atlanta to be more responsible and prevent this from happening again.
A lot of times, especially when you're dealing with tents and you're dealing with sleeping bags, you want to make sure that people are out of those particular things.
Willie Davis says his office is still investigating to see if proper protocols were followed here.
The sweeps are in and of themselves inhumane, and that until you can place people in permanent housing, you have to, again, support where they're currently living because it's all they have.
Meanwhile, the Atlanta City Council is mulling legislation that would temporarily stop the use of heavy equipment during encampment clearing. The measure just made it out of a committee last week.
It's not a crime to be homeless. You know, they are people. Their lives matter. And so what happened to Cornelius should not have happened.
And also, Mayor Andre Dickens has also called for a review on city policies when it comes for caring for the unhoused. Now, as far as Cornelius Taylor's funeral, that will be held tomorrow at the historic Ebenezer Baptist Church. Live in Atlanta tonight, Bridget Spencer, Atlanta News First.